Deftones Tempest, guitar tabs and guitar lesson. I'll play through all the different sections, both Chino's parts and Stefan's parts. After that, I'll go back through, give explanation for everything I've done. And before we get into the lesson, please hit that subscription button. It gives me a really clear signal to know that you enjoy these videos and you want me to do some more just like it. And without further wait, let's get on into it. Okay, so we'll jump into the Carpenter guitar first. I'll get to the Chino guitar later. This one, it's just about as low as Deftones gets. We are in our 8-string F sharp standard tuning, but then we're going to take that F sharp and just drop it. Kind of do like a drop D style with it, where we just drop it 2 half steps, and essentially we've come right back to E now. We're in like a drop E tuning. So, we have our E here, then we go right back to our B, then the E there, the middle E, and then it starts standard from here, A, D, G. Okay, so just super low now, and really just kind of 4 parts with this guitar. We rest through pretty much the whole intro there, and then we kick in, and almost just playing a bass line, really. And we'll start here at the 1st fret on the 5th string, now the B string. And it's just a 1, 2, 3 there, come up to 1, 2, 3 on the 1st fret of the low E now. Alright, and then we come on up and we do this pull off on the B string, 4 to 3, hit that 3, kind of hesitate, and then hit a few more of them. Alright, pre-chorus section here. We're just going to be sticking in this area, or index finger on the 3 of the B, and we're just going to do 5 to a couple 3s, repeat that a couple times. Alright, and then just a quick 5 to 3. So it's almost like a little stutter at the end there. All right, and then all we do is just change that 5 to a 6 now and do the same thing. For the chorus now, we'll make a big power chord here at that 3rd fret, all right, for a big D power chord now. And we just strum it a couple times, let it ring. All right, take it on up to the 6 and the 8s for the F power chord. Same deal, a couple strums. All right, keep it going up to 8 and 10s for the G power chord. Strum that a couple times. And then just before it's out, we hit it once more and do this little slide out from the 9 and 11s back to the 8 and 10s. All right, and then essentially we're just going to repeat that G progression twice. So and then for the bridge section, come right back down here, and we just kind of invert almost what the intro was doing there, or the verse pattern. We'll start on 3 of the B here. We do 3 there, come up, hit 3 on the 1 of the low E. All right, come up to that 3 on the low E, give it a little bend. All right, drop down, hit a handful of those 3s again, and just essentially loop it. All right, and at the second time, we give that bend a couple hits here. Okay, for Chino's guitar, we have a typical drop C tuning. You probably could actually get away with a drop D tuning on this. Just kind of take everything in the tabs here and, drop it down 2 frets. But for the most part, he just sticks to this drop C tuning, so we'll use that. And we got the C, G, C, F, A, D. And basically, we're just doing a lot of kind of light garnish type stuff here. Initially, we're just... it's probably like a little sequencer or something, or a keyboard or something doing this, but you can just hit this D note that's just going in the beginning. It's just a 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, and we just hit it here at the 7th fret on the A, or what is now the G string, the 5th string here. So just hit that. Okay, no big deal there. And then eventually we get this kind of funky sounding chord over the top of it, and it's something like this where we're hitting a 9 on the low C here, and then an open 5th string, and then a 9 on the middle C. Okay, just a funky little chord chilling there, and then we just hit a little D octave after that at the 7 on the 5th string with the 9 on the 3rd string here. And for the second part of the intro, this is also pretty much good for the verse. It's just, the strumming dynamic is different. Basically, we're just going to go from a D minor spot, but we're really only going to hit octaves for these chords that are listed here. And so we're just going to hit that D octave for the D minor chord here at the 7 and the 9 on the 5th and the 3rd string. And in the second part of the intro, we just hit it once and let it go. And then the next one, we bump it all up to 14 and 16. Okay, these will all be on the same strings. Just 14 now and 16. This is part of an A7 sus2, best I figure there. And from there, drop it down to a C at the 5 and 7. And then back to the D at the 7 and 9. And then once the verse gets going, everybody comes in and we're jamming. It's all the same here, but instead of just strumming it once, we're just strumming it right on 8th note style. All right, for this pre-chorus section here, we're basically just going to take a couple of spots here in that same octave shape. We're going to go from like an A minor to a A sharp minor vibe, and it's just going to be up here at that same 14 and 16, and we just hang out on that and just strum away on it for a couple measures, and then we just bump it up 1 fret to the 15 and the 17, and same deal with that. All right, and for the chorus, pretty much Stephen Carpenter's guitar and the bass are carrying all of the chord change. They're doing all that type of work, and This guitar, Chino's guitar, is basically just kind of doing this fun little overlay of bends with an A note, and we'll just be here at the 2 on the 5th string and the 4 on the 3rd string, and it's just kind of this slightly arbitrary, like just bending of those notes, strumming it, bending it, releasing it, as the other chords are changing and carrying over it. So this is kind of just doing its own thing here. So just have some fun with it, hit it, bend it, release, and then when you get to say like the final chord, that G sus2, after doing the D, the F, then the G sus2, like hang out there for a little bit, switch up the dynamic, maybe just strum it a little more straight, then bend it, give it a slower release. And over the top of both of the guitars and all that, it might be a third guitar, it might just be like the keyboard in the background, but it's doing this cool little melody line way up high here. And initially it'll be at 17 on the 2nd string here, and then we go to 16 on the 3rd string, and then come right back to the 19 on the 1st string. All right, we go through that, and then the second time through with it, we do our 17 on the 2nd string, 16 on the 3rd string, and then we just go 16 to 14 on that 3rd string. For the bridge section, this guitar matches up more or less pretty close with the first Stephen Carpenter guitar. It's just we're going to be an octave higher here. And we're just doing our D octaves here at the 7 and the 9. And it's just a quick 1, 2, 3. And then we slide over to the power chords here at the 5. All right. Strum that out a few times, and then up to the 8s, and then give that a little bend. All right, and then the second time through, it stays the same. It's just at the end, we kind of hit those 8s a couple times.